Hello guys and welcome back. So now let's continue. The next thing we are going to make is what comes next here. Okay, if we go back to the test app, which is this one, if we click on start, you can see that we have this level and then we have this and then this. So let's create this widget. Okay, so this widget is also different. If you are in a single player here, it shows level and then select the level of difficulty. From here you can change medium, hard, or easy, and then when you click on multiplayer, this changes to number of players, and then select the number of players. Now you can select how many players do you want to play with. Okay, so let's create that. Okay, so let's go back to our application, and then here you can see after that radio button we have that text field, and then maybe this size box, let's put 10, and then down here after this row we have to put that list tile. Okay, so that list tile, let's create another separate widget. Okay, so here in the widgets, right click and then new file. So this, let's name it as a level and players. Okay, .dat. Let's name it like that, and then we're going to create a stateless widget. Why is it not coming? STF, we just need to type STF like that, and then we want to name it as level and players. Okay, so this one also we need to pass the game provider. Okay, so let's say required the game provider. That's all, we don't need all of this. Okay, you can put the comma there, and then let's initialize it there like that. Then all we have to do is to import the game provider, and then here also, because it's changing between single player and multiplayer, you can see it's changing here, so which means we need to read that from the provider if the user has clicked on single player or multiplayer. Okay, final single player, it's going to read from the provider like that. Then let's import, and then here let's return a list tile like that. And then here now we need to create the list tile. So the first thing, okay, so it looks like Copilot is trying to assist us, so let's click tab, and then let's see what we need to change. Always we have to look at this. Okay, so here what it's saying is the text, the title is, it has put in the constant.level, and then the subtitle. Okay, so all of these things we need to put them. Okay, so let's put this title and the subtitle. Okay, so what we want to do is let's see what the titles that we put here. So here we said level, and then the subtitle is select the level of difficulty. Okay, so let's go in the constants. Let's create those constants. So here let's say level, we want to create that constant, and then here we want to say level level description, okay, so here we want to say not like that, so we're going to say level this like this, and then here we will just describe what it says here. We're going to say select the level of the game. Okay, select the level of let's put it like this, the level of computer, maybe let's say like that, the level of computer. And then if we click on multi, we say number of players. Okay, So here let's also just say players, which says let's say number of players. This is going to say exactly like that, number of players. And then here we get number of players description, select number of players. Okay, so this and that is done. And then one other thing that we need to create, if we jump to single player, here you can see that we have easy, medium, and hard. Okay, we already have the enum for this, so we can just read from that enum to read that list. Okay, great. So now that we have these constants, we can go back here, and then here we have that level, and then the style here. I think there is no such method. We need to say dot what can we give this? Dot body or title. You can say title medium, like that. Okay, we can give it like that. And then here on the drop down, so you can see that it's got this drop down as a trading. So this subtitle here we need to change. Okay, so even this we need to set depending on a single player. So let's copy this, and then here we're going to say if it is single player, we're going to show the text. If it is a multiplayer, we're going to say number of players. Okay, so that's how we change that. And then the trading, so before the trading we want to set the subtitle, but the subtitle, it's putting all of this. We don't want this. Let's just remove all of that and then completely remove the subtitle from there. Let's put the subtitle just below the title here. Okay, subtitle. So even here now we will do that. Let's put the comma. If it is single player, we want to say level description. Okay, else we want to say player description. And then even here the text theme, maybe let's say title title medium. Here we say the title medium. Okay, maybe title medium here, and then here let's say title large. Title large. Okay, now the trading, yeah, we need to have a drop down, but let's not put it just yet. First let's have a look what we have. So let's comment this trading, and then let's call this level and players in our global method here. Okay, so first of all we want the size box, which is going to be this one with the height. Let's copy that, then paste it here. And then this text field, we know we don't want it. Let's cut it out. Then here let's go our level and players. Okay, like that, and then we can put a tab. All right, now we can hot reload. Let's go back to our application. Okay, we can't hot reload now because we went to the other app. We can just directly run it. All right, now it has started. Let's try to press it. You can see that we have that list style. Okay, so the other thing is if we go to this one, you can see how this looks with a smaller words, and then there is this icon here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's remove this. Let's go back to this method, and then first of all let's remove the style. Even here let's remove the style, and then here let's have content padding. Content padding, we want to remove everything. Okay, aging sets dot 0. So also let's remove this constant, and then here let's say 0. Now let's run the application again. Okay, now we have it. We have something like that. Now let's put the icon in front here. Okay, so we need to come to here. There's a title, and then there should also be a trailing, the leading. Okay, so the leading here, we want to put it inside the container. Let's click tab. So you can see that Copilot has already assisted us here by creating this container. We'll edit it. So let me hot reload. Okay, now let's click here. You can see that this is a container that Copilot has created with a person inside. But for us, we don't have that inside here. So let's change this container. So here, everything else is the same, is how we want to put it. And then here, the padding, we want it to be like that as 8. Then the decoration, we want to have a primary color. But this one in our test tab, we have the color blue. So we need to call colors.blue. And then the radius, here we have 5. Let's change it to 8. Let's make it a bit round. And then the icon, we have got this person icon. Okay, so either way here we have got the same icon, I think. So if you're in a single player, maybe the icon, let's put it for the computer icon. Okay, computer, do we have that icon for the computer? Icons.laptop, do we have that? Laptop, like that. And then if there's people, so if it's single player, if it's here, we want to show the laptop, else we want to show people. I think that's it. Or we can just say group like that. Okay, and then now if we hot reload, we have something like that. Okay, let's try it again. If we click here, we're going to have a number of people, and then here is going to be a computer. I think this is better than just having a star here. Okay, yeah, maybe if we want for the computer, we can leave it as a star, and then when we move, we can, it's entirely up to you. If you want, we can leave it as this laptop. We change here, we move to people. Here, if you want, you can leave it as a star, but for now, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay, great. So now that we have this, the next thing to do now is to create another, the trading here. Okay, we need a trading here now to select the level and the number of people when you click on multiplayer. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's uncomment this drop down here. Okay, and then all we have to do now here in the drop down, so first let's start with the levels. So here it's going to be an int. Okay, and then the value, what we're gonna get is the level. Okay, we need to get the level. So up here, maybe let's get the level here. Okay, so let's get final level is going to be game provider dot level. So this level, what did we call it? Why can't we get the level? So let's go inside the game provider. So how are we getting the level? It's computer level. Okay, so which means we're getting the computer level. Okay, so let's come here, and then even here let's just say computer level, which is going to get this computer level. Okay, so now that we've got the level, we need to also have the method to set the level. Let's see if so set computer, no, this is a, okay, so we don't have a method to set computer level. So let's create it here. Set computer level. Yeah, we can just let the assistant set it. So is this takes a level and then it set it. So to not get lost, let's just put comments here. Our assistant will have sisters. No, I just want to put comments. I don't want to create a method. Let's put comments so that we don't get lost next time we're looking for a method. Okay, so here is a set the computer level. Now let's also create that method. So final set computer level, computer level, which calls that method of setting the computer level. Okay, now here we all just need to call our computer level, and then we need to call that index at that level. Okay, and then here on changed, so let's minimize and close that. And then the unchanged here, we first of all we need to make a list of that item. Okay, so this drop down, let's just start again. This drop down, it takes an int, and then the level is that, and then now the unchanged, what we need to do is we need to get the value. Okay, so instead of that string, we know it's not a string, it's a value. And then here we are going to call our method, which is this set computer level. Okay, set computer level, and then we are going to get that value at that index. Okay, at computer level at that index, and then that's how we are going to set it. Okay, now we need to put items in the drop down. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to call the unchanged as a last method. Okay, so this setting of items, we can have it down here. Okay, anyway, let's just have it down here. So I'm gonna remove everything here and then create that list. Okay, so this is going to be a list dot generate. Okay, now this list, we are going to get it from the levels dot length. So we need to create the list of the levels. Okay, not from the enum. We'll get it from the constants. Let's create that list inside the constant class. So let's go in the constant class. So here, let's create that list. So let's come here and then let's say list of levels. Okay, levels. So let's see what Copilot will create. Okay, so here's a list, but now we want to create, we don't want to create it as a strings. Okay, because we already have enums for these levels. Okay, so here instead of a string, we are going to call our enums. Okay, so it's called computer, where is that enum computer level, this. Okay, it's going to be a list of that. Okay, now here, now we just need to call the enums. So we want to say computer level dot easy. Next is computer level dot medium. Next is computer level dot hard. Okay, so there's our list of computer levels, and then next after this, let's also create other lists that we are going to need. Okay, because if we bring back this, go to the next one, you can see that we have that list. And then if we come here, or actually not here, here we have that list of these game times. Then if we switch this, we have this list also of, this is a list of your game times, and then this is a list of the number of words. Okay, let's create these lists as well. Okay, so after this list of levels, next let's create the list of game time. Okay, so yeah, so here we have which is an int, the game time. So now this, we're going to have 30, 60, 90, 120. Maybe let's have more, like 150, and then 180. Maybe let's have a short list like that. You guys can have more if you wish to have more game times. Okay, yeah, even up to like that. maybe let's end like that. And then now next, let's create a list of a number of words. Okay, number of this is going to be number of words. Yeah, so let's create that list. We're going to have 5. Okay, it's just going to be in 5s. Okay, so yeah, maybe up to 50. That one is fine. All right, now that we have that list, let's go back to the level players and levels. Here now, let's create that list here. Okay, so this list, now we know that it's going to come from constants dot what did we name it? Is it computer what level? Yeah, levels. We have levels dot length. Okay, that's going to be our list. All right, now here is going to be equal our index, and then now down here let's create that. Okay, so here you can see that corporate is already assisting us here. Let's click tab, and then let's just go through this. Okay, so what we want to do here is first we're going to get the level at index, which is this one. Okay, so let's let it give us the comment, get the level at index, and then now we're going to put that drop down. We're going to return that drop down menu item. Okay, so here in the drop down, so let's remove this int because we already have that. Okay, so we can just remove that, and then here we only need to say index. Now here we just need to put that level which is there. Okay, so first of all, okay, let's just see how this will look. All right, so let's go and then let's bring this back up and then let's run it. All right, now let's click this button. You can see that we have that. The first one is easy. If we click here, we can have all of this. Now, when we press, we can see that it's the one which is coming here. Okay, great. We have successfully done that. Now, the other thing is let's capitalize the first letter here so that it looks more professional. Okay, we can't have small letters here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to let AI do it for us. We simply just going to comment it. So let's say capitalize the first letter. Okay, now it's just going to write that code. Okay, if it's not going to write it, I'm going to start it for us. So final capitalized level. Now here, yeah, okay, it's not capitalizing, it's just getting it. So I'm just gonna help it. So what we're gonna do here, we have to get the level and then get the letter at index 0. So which means we are getting the first letter. So this one we're going to say to uppercase. So what's going on here? All right, so here let's get all of it. Okay, that's why it failed. So here after the level, get the level that index, and then here we need to get dot name. Okay, now meaning we have gotten the level. So here now we can just say that and then to uppercase. So we have capitalized the first letter. I mean, not that. We need to say to uppercase. We have capitalized this first letter, and then after we capitalize the first letter, we're going to add now the level plus substring to 1. We're going to add the remaining, if we remove the first letter, to this first capital letter, and then we have the capitalized letter. Okay, now here instead of calling this, we're just going to call the capitalized level. Great. Now if we hold reload, we can see that we have the capitalized letter like that. Okay, so this is done for the level. Now what we want to do is when we click here, this also changes. Okay, great. So for that, first of all, we are going to, so there's two things we can do here. Here we can read also, if it's single player, we can return the different drop down here. Okay, instead of this value, we can add not the computer level, we can have another one. And then also here on changed, if it's single player, because we can reuse this same one. Okay, which will also work the same way. Okay, but either that, or we can just extract this widget from here. We can say extract extract a method. Okay, now this one we can call it as a what can we call it? Maybe level drop down, like that. So here's our level drop down here, which is we have put it here. So what we can do is all of these that we are passing, we can't even pass it here. What we can do is we can get this, cut them from here, and then just put them inside here. Okay, then now we don't need to pass these things. Okay, let's just call it like that, and then even here let's just call it like that. Okay, now if we hot reload, this will still work. Okay, so we have the level drop down like that. Now we can now also have another drop down, which we can name like a numbers drop down, which will be for the numbers. Okay, so let's copy this. Then right after this levels drop down, let's create another method. So this level drop down ends up to here, and then here let's paste another one. Okay, so this is a widget. Okay, you can see that here it says a drop down, but if we want, we can just name it as a widget. It will still work. Okay, so for example, if we say widget here, this will still work. So let me comment that and then show you before we move on. We hot reload, you can see that it's still working the same. Okay, you can see it's a widget. We're just returning a widget here. Okay, now even here, let's uncomment this and then let's change this to widget. Now this one, let's call it as a numbers drop down. Okay, now in the numbers drop down, again we are going to need the method. So this is going to be set number of players. So set number of players. So this is also going to be set number of players. Okay, let's copy that and put it on this one. Now let's head back to the game provider and then also create the method to set the number of players. Do we have it here? So we have set game over, set playtime, set my current, set computer level, set, yeah, we don't have. So let's create that set number of players, set number of players. Then it's just gonna create that method. The number of players into value number of players is going to be that value. Okay, now if we come here, we're just gonna call our method set number of players, and then we have to pass in a value. Okay, so here first let's close it like that. What we're going to do is we are going to pass a value, but since we're calling this method on top here, let's remove that brackets, okay? Because we're going to pass a value when we are setting it here, okay? So we have got that set number of players, and then now we also need to get the number of players, okay? So here, instead of set, we need to say number of players, okay? Now here we need to go back to the game provider, and then where is our method? This number of players. This is what we want to call here, okay? I'm going to call number of players. Great. Now we have said that, and then the next thing now is the drop down again, okay? So here on this second drop down, we want to, actually this is not even a drop down, okay? Let's go here. You can see that this is a drop down. When we come here, this is not, when we come to multiply, this is not a drop down. This is a row with a minus and the number and the plus to add more players, okay? So this is what we want to create. Now let's go back here. So instead of this drop down, let's remove it and then return a sized box. Okay. Let's close this size box, and then this size box is going to have a child, which is going to be a row widget. And then this row widget, of course, is going to have a children. So in this row, first of all, we want to, okay, let's click tab and then see what is going to come up with. So this is still coming up with the drop down, okay? This is not what we want, okay? So this row, first of all, we'll deal with that. Let's have a main axis alignment. I mean, not alignment, main axis size, okay? Main axis, what's that? Main axis size. We want it to be minimum, the smaller as it can be. And then let's remove this drop down, okay? This drop down might work, but it's not what we want to use, okay? So let me show you. Here, if we check, copy, then paste that. If it is single player, we show that. In the else, we can show the numbers drop down. Now, if we hot reload, that has come to effect. Now, if we click here and then come here, you can see that it's bringing up this drop down, okay? It says it's just created this, okay? But if you want, you can use this approach, but in my case, I want the user to be able to choose more than this. Of course, we can do it with putting more numbers on the drop down, but I like this approach of just adding and release and removing, okay? So this is entirely up to you guys. You can choose which method you want to use, okay? So now let's change this. So what we're gonna do is, instead of this drop down, what I would do is I'm going to remove this drop down. The first child, I'm going to put an icon button, button. So on pressed, this is going to be a minus or decrement. So here on the icon, we want to put constant.icons.remove. We need to put that. Okay, so Copilot looks like it has assisted us already. So let's just bring this down. And then, so here, there is a first icon which ends up to here. And then there is a text which has a number of words. And then there's a second icon which is here with a plus, okay? Let me just put commas here, all right? Okay, now we want to do more, right? So first, let me hot reload this. This is what we have, okay? We click here and then click here. Once we click that, it's going to be either increment or decrement. So we have the number of words which is there. Okay, now what we want to do is, if it's multiplier, it should be 2 or more. So if we have 2 here, this should be disabled. And then here we can put, depending on us, what we want the maximum number of players should be. So for now, I'm just going to put 10, okay? So if it's 10 here, it's also should, it should also be disabled, okay? So let's just make these 2 a bit bigger. So what we're going to do is, let's give it a font size, okay? So here, let's put the comma and then give it a style, which comes from text style. What we're interested is a size, okay? So let's say font size. Let's give it something like 18, all right? Now let's add a constant keyword. Then let's hot reload. Yeah, it should be looking like that. Now the next thing that we want to do is here on the, let's start with the minus, okay? So first here, we are going to check up here if number of players is equal to 2. We want to return now, okay? Which means it won't do anything else. That's when we will decrement, okay? If it is equal to 2, we won't go not lower than 2, okay? In the else, now we can do the function here, which is a set number of words, which is going to be the number of words which is there, and then minus 1, okay? So this number of words is coming from this number of words, okay? So we're going to get that number of words. We're going to decrement it minus 1, okay? Which is exactly the same thing we're going to do here. Let's copy that. And then here, we want to go up to maybe 10 players, okay? If number of players is equals to 10, we want to return now, else we will do that. Now here, every time we just do +1, okay? +1, and then that's all we need to do. Now let's just hot reload. You can see that already, because this is 2, we can't place this, and then once we place that, it's going up. Now we can go back, okay? So once it goes up, if it gets to 10, we can't go more than 10, and then that's a number of players, okay? And then that's it. So right now we have done, if we go to single player, you have to choose the difficulty. If you go to multiplayer, you have to select the number of players who are going to be in this game, and then that's it. So let's end this video right here. This one was a bit longer, but it was just only about this widget, okay? So in the next one, we have to create this one for time, and then this one as well, all right? So thank you guys, and see you in the next video.